You are tuned in to the Dark Monarchy update, brought to you by Riffical Records. Greetings, folks. Mark Anthony Kay here, along with my good friend and writing partner, Mr. Joe Bailey. How are you doing?
Hello, I'm all right. Thank you.
Great. So we're here now to discuss really quickly about a very important matter, which is the release or upcoming release of the Dark Monarchy debut record. I know that I'm sure Joe will agree with me that we are very excited about it and very pleased with the results of the recordings.
Yeah. It's amazing. And I know when we announced it was going to be June the 12th, it seemed like a lifetime away, but it's only a month away now, isn't it? So
yeah, I mean, time has gone fast. I mean, it's already May 6th, in like a few days it's going to be the 12th, and then it's only a month away, right?
Yeah.
Next thing you know, it's going to be it's going to be June. So time really goes quickly. I mean, I know some people have been talking about during this whole COVID thing that some people have been finding that time has been going slower for them, but I don't know about you, Joe, but for me, the days have been going almost kind of faster for some reason.
Yeah. Well, with me working as well, it's not hugely different for me. In a time sense, anyway. My work's different now, but it doesn't go any quicker, really.
Yeah, and for me, it's been more of the same for me because I've been working on a lot of music stuff anyways, even before we did Dark Monarchy stuff. So I've been kind of, holed up in here doing things anyway. So when this all happened and they said, oh, you have to stay home, for days on end, it's like, well, that doesn't really affect me because I'm here days on end at home anyway. So what's the difference, right? So the album is done. It's going to be a 6-song album. And of course, when you hear that right away, you're thinking, oh boy, well, like what is it, an EP? No, it's not an EP. It's an album because most of these songs are well over 6 minutes. I mean, we have a couple that are 8 minutes at least, aren't they?
Yeah. Almost 9 minutes, one of them.
Yeah. So there you go. I think it'll be no problem to just announce the names of the songs. So the songs that are on the album will be Joyride, one of the singles, Fool's Gold, that you guys have already been familiar with, that we put a video out for. The Epic, as Joe has so eloquently said on the EPK, the electronic press kit that we put out a few weeks or a month ago, he mentioned that Mother Earth was going to be the Epic, and he's correct. It will be the Epic of the record. It turned out fantastic. I know back then I had mentioned that I think it was my favorite song, and I think I'm still going to say that even though I love everything on this record, I think it's still my favorite song off this record.
Yeah, I agree. My favorite as well.
Yeah. And then we have Broken Kingdom, which is a really cool, kind of powerful kind of song. Then we have Better Posers, which is the other song that we did the video for, that Joe did a fantastic video on. In fact, I've always loved that whole beginning of it, where that scene from the sidewalk where people were walking by, and it almost, like I said before, it almost appeared to me like a homeless person watching the world go by, which perfectly, goes with the lyrics that Joe wrote for that song. So fantastic work again, Joe. And the last song, Hide and Seek, which is actually probably the last song that I think it is. Yeah, it's the last song that we had worked on and completed, and a perfect closer for the album. Once again, I think Joe did a stellar job on this one, vocally and lyrically on this one. So any songs in here that kind of jump out at you besides Mother Earth?
Hide and Seek. It's a good ending, isn't it? It's nice to have a ballad on there, isn't it?
Yeah.
Especially to end it as well.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's fitting, with what's happening at the moment as well. It's I think a lot of people will be able to feel what the song's about, because a lot of people are going through it.
Definitely. Yeah. And I mean, and before people started going, oh my God, like picking their jaw off the floor when Joe said, a ballad, it's not like Baby I Love You with an acoustic guitar ballad. It's just more like a more laid back song. There's a piano in there and stuff like that. But, it's you know, when you think of a ballad, it's kind of think of almost like when Dream Theater said they do a ballad. It's nothing like a, you know, baby I
Yeah,
love you thing. It's
yeah,
that
that's it.
kind of
Yeah.
style of ballad, right? So yeah, yeah, I had to make sure I put that out there because you know how some people might be a ballad. Oh my God, a 12 string and what, you know, flute and what else, you know? So, so yeah, so that's basically the songs for the album. We will be putting it out on digitally uh, June 12th. Will also be coming out on CD. Now, the CD and the vinyl, yes, I said vinyl because we are going to be pushing for vinyl. And of course, when we get to that point, we'll be also probably doing a pre-order for it. So it'll be up to you, the fine people watching, to give us your support on that. And obviously, the more support we get, the easier and quicker it'll be to get vinyl done. Now, the CD end of it and all that will happen for sure. But again, it's all up to what's happening with the government as far as, you know, letting companies reopen. Because over here in Canada, still a lot of places are still closed that are not deemed essential work. I'm not sure how it is over in England with you guys, Joe. As is there still many things closed or?
Yeah. Boris Johnson's going to make an announcement at the weekend about potentially lifting or easing the lockdown, but I'm not sure what this means for businesses. But yeah, it's something's going to happen this weekend.
Okay, great. Yeah, sorry, my phone was just lighting up there in the corner, so I was wondering what that heck was. That was, yeah. So, because I was always curious about that because, you know, one of the things I always thought about that, and this might seem odd to you, but when I heard that things were shutting down, the thought of Abbey Road Studios closing was like something I couldn't conceive. You know, like really they're gonna close Abbey Road Studios? Like that just seems impossible for me, you know, to think of. I mean, do you actually think it's like closed and won't? Do you think it'll still be closed for a while, or what do you think?
I don't know. I've no idea, to be quite honest.
Yeah, because the only reason why I'm asking is because I kind of envision Abbey Road as being one of those kind of important landmarks of England, of the United Kingdom, right? I mean, it's a popular studio, like, you know, the Beatles are, you know, all over it, right? So you'd figure, you know, if anything is an essential thing, you would think maybe that is, but, you know, government people don't seem to deem music as essential, which is a mistake in my opinion. But
although I do know that there are some studios still open in England because I know that Cradle have still been recording their new album, so they've been going back and forth
really,
in the studio. Yeah.
Oh,
so
great.
Some of them are still open.
Oh, fantastic. Okay.
It's great news for me, anyway.
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's interesting because the whole Cradle of Filth thing, just for people who are wondering what we're talking about, the band Cradle of Filth, this thing that's been going around on Facebook with the whole name 10 albums that have been inspirational to you. I know a lot of us have been doing it, and I've been watching some of Joe's ones, and I remember when he put up Cradle of Filth, I was like, that record looks familiar to me. And I looked back, and I actually had that on CD. I wanted to put Midian, I believe it was.
Yeah.
And I remember listening back to it. I was like, yeah, now I remember. It's not that I don't like it. I mean, I think musically they're fantastic. It's just I think it was just Danny's voice was always the thing that kind of made me like, whoa, you know, I wasn't used to it when I first heard him the first time. And I'd actually watched that same day I put up a video from some festival that he did, and they had some girl came up on this podium and she was singing all these kind of operatic parts and stuff. It's a very interesting musically and very interesting from a show perspective. So I can see where you kind of like those guys, right?
Yeah. I adore them, and the live shows are just epic.
Yeah.
Probably half of it is where I get my love of that sort of grandiose symphonic stuff.
Yeah.
As far back as Cradle. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say, like, I can see where some of the orchestration parts that you get come from, but I would have never have guessed vocally that he would have been an influence on you.
No, he's not. He's not.
Yeah.
No. Maybe lyrically sometimes.
Yeah. I'm just curious. Out of the bands that you posted on that 10 albums, are any of those bands being an influence vocally to you?
Maybe Muse when I was younger. I think Matt Bellamy was one of the reasons why I started singing a lot. That Origin of Symmetry album particularly. I think when that came out, I could get them high notes. Can't anymore. But, and maybe Frost as well. Frost, everything about Frost has influenced me somewhere along the way. Anyway.
And I have to say, when you put that up there, that Frost record, I was like, Frost, I've never heard of these guys, to be honest with you. And then I said to myself, okay, he thinks very highly of it. I'm going to check it out. So I went and checked it out. And honestly, I think it's really good. I think I might actually sit down and listen to a couple of those records like in full, because I thought it was very, very good stuff. So
yeah,
that's one of those things that I like about this, that people turn me on to other kinds of bands I don't really know too much about.
Yeah. And weird little thing is, like, when Frost started, two of the guys in the band were from IQ, and then John Mitchell, who was in Arena, and he's also in It Bites and Lonely Robot as well.
Yeah.
And then Jem Godfrey, he was originally a pop writer, and one of his most well-known songs is Atomic Kitten's Whole Again. He wrote that. Yeah. So for him to write that and then to write an album like Million Town is just amazing to me. And he said himself that he thinks that writing prog is easier than writing pop music.
Really, eh?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Wow. Unbelievable. I never would have guessed that. That's interesting. But yeah, great stuff though, and I would recommend, if you haven't heard it, check it out, because I gave it a chance, and I'm very happy that I did give it a chance. Okay, so getting back to our stuff again, June 12th, the new and debut Dark Monarchy record will be coming out. Just a little bit of news as well for you people who are following both of us. Once this record comes out, we're going to be doing some interviews and stuff like that to help promote it, put it out. Obviously we'll be releasing a CD, as I mentioned, and we'll be releasing a vinyl at some point. But of course, being the kind of people that we are musically, we will be both working on stuff, I'm sure, after that. So I'm sure, Joe, you have something in mind for a record coming up next.
Yeah, I have. I've been writing the new album recently, actually. I've got about 10 tracks so far. I probably won't use half of them. But that's coming along. And then there's going to be, I'm doing an album with Steve as well for the TWJ album. So we're in the process of writing that as well.
Oh, very good. That's awesome. Yeah. That's really good. It's interesting, when I was looking through the Bandcamp thing, when I was listening to one of your records, I've been listening to Nightingale a lot, actually, lately. Cool. I really like that record. At the bottom, when you scroll down, they usually have, like, if you like Joe's music, you might like these guys. At the bottom, they have, like, these other bands on there. There's a band on there that you had on there with one of your friends who had passed away. What was the name of that band again?
Signal.
That's it. That's a really good record, actually. I checked that out and I really enjoyed it. That might be something that maybe we should look at getting you out on CD with, because that's really a good album.
Yeah, that would be nice, actually, because with all the proceeds from that album, I donate them all to charity. I wanted to get that all remixed, because when me and Mike first recorded them, they didn't sound great, and I told him so many times that I was going to remix them, and then I never got around to doing it, and unfortunately his death was the kick up the arse I needed. But it is a great album. We had a lot of different inspirations, so I think the mixture of the two of us was really good. He was a big Porcupine Tree fan as well, so a lot of his chords, a lot of the chords he came up with were kind of Wilson-esque. Sounding.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Yeah, we'll talk about that at some time, because I wouldn't mind supporting that and maybe getting that out for you. The other thing too, obviously, you 10 songs. That kind of just floored me now that you have 10 songs already written. That's unbelievable. No, that's great. I mean, it's incredible. I'm obviously going to be working on book 2 of the In the Year 3073 for Project Gemini, which leads me to bringing up the fact that I will probably need to ask you again to make a reappearance for a character or two. I'm hoping that you'll be available to do so.
Of course. Yeah.
Okay, great. So there you have it first here. Mr. Bailey will be appearing on the next Project Gemini album again. That's great because I think it really helped with breaking up the story, like making the story flow better. A lot of people have told me that when you were in those songs, it really helped make the story flow easier that way because okay, when Joe's singing, it's this person and not, you know what I mean? It made it a lot easier. So I'm really looking forward to having that happen. And from my end of it, I don't have 10 songs written, but I have the basis of about 4 to 5 of them written. One of them is going to be probably again like a 11 or 13-minute song because I always have at least one like that on the record, right? So so things are going well, and I can say, or at least hope, and I know we've already talked about this, Joe, but let's just clarify it for the people listening. There will be a second Dark Monarchy record, right?
Definitely, yeah.
Okay.
At least.
Great. Yes, at least. I'd like to do many more as well, too. But, you never know what's going to happen in 2 years or 3 years, right? But, for me, I'll make as many Dark Monarchy records as Joe is willing to participate with. So I'm looking forward to many more records, maybe. That'll be great. So
yes.
Okay. So let's leave it at that. I know, Joe, you have some important business to take care of and don't want to take up all your time. But thank you, my friend, for joining me on here. And we'll have you back again, obviously, being a very important member of the band, obviously. So we'll have you back for more chit-chatting. And so I guess for now, we will leave it at that. And thank you for joining me, Joe.
Yeah, thank you very much for having me.
All right.
And thank you for watching, everyone.
Yes. Thank you, and I'll talk to you all very soon.